So now that we've looked at the characters, the killers, and learned a little bit about last year, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the maps available for this game. So the first location we're going to look at is the high school. Now the high school is what's used in the trailer that we're about to watch. And the high school looks like it was set in the 90s. I mean, there was a banner that said, I think, 1996. So it looks like it's a beat up school. Now the school has weather effects already right off the bat. It has rain, it has thunder, it has atmosphere, it has what Friday the 13th is missing, it has what Dead by Daylight is missing. So far last year looks like this could be the best of the three. So the next location is the mall. And of course, what 90s horror would not be complete with the mall? I mean, if you're alive in the 90s or you grew up in the 90s, you would know the mall was the place to hang out. So even though the mall looks abandoned, it's actually a fully functional mall during the daytime. However, our survivors get trapped in the mall at night, and well, a killer comes out and tries to kill them one by one. Now, some of the points of interest in the mall are the department store, the arcade, the garage in the basement, a restaurant, bathrooms, escalators and elevators, mall security area, and of course, the food court. So this image actually reminds me a lot of the horror movie Chopping Mall. If you have no clue what that movie is, here's a short clip.
In the Chopping Mall.
What's that?
Robot blood.
So the next map we're going to look at is the Suburbs. Now the Suburbs looks like some creepy ass street that was abandoned. Like it looks like something from Twilight Zone. It looks like maybe that there was a hurricane or something. Again, weather. It looks like there's weather. Look at the clouds. It could possibly rain and create that great atmosphere again. Now in this map, you're going to get to explore and hide in really cool places like garages, basements, and even tree forts. So this last map is going to look familiar to some of you, and others are going to be like, it's a ripoff. But I'm going to explain to you why it's not a ripoff and why it is a good idea. So this last map is summer camp. The sign looks very similar, the cabins and all that great shit, but that's summer camp. You got to remember, in the 90s, in real life and in horror movies, big things were summer camp, suburbs, high school, and the mall. Those are big things in the 90s. So being that this is 90s horror, it makes a lot of sense. And I will argue that they're on a legit path as far as I'm concerned. So next we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay footage. So yeah, I know my headphones are falling apart and they're a piece of crap. But let's go ahead and take a look at that. Elastic Games. 1996. There you go. Must be the slasher. Looks like they pissed this janitor off. Notice the air vent in the upper left corner is blowing.
Hi, I'm Kevin Scarf. I'm the marketing director on Last Year. Last Year is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game where one killer has to hunt down a group of teenagers. I'm playing as the Slasher, one of 3 playable killers that ships with the game. The game is set on Halloween night in 1996. We've been meticulously crafting a universe that draws you in and puts you in the center of your own 90s horror film. Survivors can actually fight back with weapons, so being the killer means you need to be smart and creative with how you attack your victims. One of the best ways to do this is with Predator mode. This lets the killer unspawn and turn invisible at any time. The killer can then move extremely fast,
kind of like shifting,
completely invisible to the other players, and use this to plan the perfect ambush
and stalking as one
or
perk.
toy with the survivors. To spawn in or out, the killer has to be out of sight, or use the environment as a spawn point. There's a couple of survivors now. It looks like Chad and Troy. They might actually have weapons already, so it could be risky to try and attack 2 people head on. What I'll do is unspawn and look before I plan my attack.
Footprints too everywhere.
First, I'll place a trap here. Last Year's build with different environmental spots, like this trapdoor.
That's badass. That reminds me of Night Trap.
Separate survivors from one another.
For those of you that remember
now,
that
I'm going
game.
to actually use that skylight up there as my spawn point. Now that I've trapped him, I'm gonna go in for the kill.
Tell me that doesn't look so badass.
We hope you enjoyed this preview of last year. We look forward to sharing more gameplay features with you in the future.
So the gameplay in that trailer looks absolutely phenomenal to me. I like the killers, I like the characters, I like the maps, I like the gameplay, I like the fact that the traps, you can actually set yourself up and above so when they get stuck you can drop down in on them. You can see their footprints. You have perks that let you investigate them. They don't always know where you are, at least that's my assumption from the video, so you can actually hide and lurk on them. You know, the trap, it reminded me of Night Trap. For those of you who don't know what Night Trap is, it was a game in the 90s based on cameras, and you would choose different cameras, and you'd have to find the exact room when the vampires come in that are trying to kill the teens in this house. You press a button, a trap opens, and it kills the vampires. However, from what I've read, they're not actually killing the survivors in this game. What it's doing is it's separating them. So that trap we saw puts them down into the basement and separates them from everybody else. So the person you trap could have a
very particular set of skills,
which helps them further escape. But they have to choose. Do they want to go down and help him and risk their own lives, or make it harder for them to escape and survive? All of that concept is very interesting to me. This actually looks like it could be better than Friday the 13th. Now, you all know that I prefer Friday the 13th over Dead by Daylight, so that's actually saying a lot, especially for not even being able to play the game yet. But I want to know, what do you guys think? Now, this game is only going to be available on PC Steam to begin with. They said they only want to focus on that version for now. They want to get it all right and then possibly in the future move on to consoles or maybe Mac Steam. At least I'm going to guess maybe Mac Steam. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the locations? Does this game look awesome? What about the characters, the killers, all that shit? I want to know all your thoughts on this game down in the comment section below. And if you're looking forward to last year or an alternative to these two games in general, give this video a big thumbs up. And as new information comes out, we're going to discuss that right here on this channel as well. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because if you don't, you're not going to be notified of all these kick-ass videos. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that other great shit. And don't forget, we also have a contest going on. We're going to be doing a giveaway. That link will be down in the description below. And as always, I'll see you next time.